Good day, greeting students. I'm very happy to meet you all again in grade 11 economics. In the previous video session, we have completed our chapter 6, which was measures of dispersion, and we are going to start our chapter 7, which is correlation in this video session. Let us quickly recall of whatever we have done so far in statistics for economics. For grade 11, you actually have two parts for economics student. Part A is your statistics for economics. Part B is going to be your microeconomics. In part A, statistics for economics, already what are the things that we have discussed? We have spoken about introduction. In introduction, we discussed what is economics, what is statistics, and how statistics is connected with economics. What are the statistical tools that economists use, and all these things were discussed in chapter 1. Moving on, we spoke about the collection of data, right? What did we discuss, children? The collection of data. So how data will be collected, right? So what is that data called? It is actually called raw data. Collect பண்ற data என்ன சொல்றோம்? Raw data சொல்றோம், and you get two sources of data like primary and secondary data. Primary data is first hand information. You personally collecting it directly is a primary data, right? If I am going to get information, I got the list of candidates at that time. That was a first hand information. Now, information first hand information, right? So when I give it to the next person to use it, that's a secondary data. You know, the na collect data I have already used it. I am giving it to someone else for some other purpose as a secondary data. So when you have data from the websites, when you have data from the government magazines, when you have any kind of printed media, from your printed media you get some data, means it's a source. Okay, it is a secondary data. Have you seen, children, in news when they show you the cricket news or something about sports, they show you a clip of that day's play. அன்னைக்கு விளையாட்ட மேட்சோட ஏதோ ஒரு கிளிப்பிங் அது அந்த கிளிப்பிங் போயிட்டு இருக்கப்போ மேல they'll show courtesy 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 to some particular sports channel mention பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. So from there they have taken the data. So that data becomes a secondary data. Data verbal or written இருக்குமா? No, it can be in a video format also. Seeing the video format, you get some information and it's a secondary data. Right, children? So what are the modes and methods of data collection? The way using survey and all those things. And how usually we collect data, methods of data collection. We collect data through personal interviews or telephonic interviews or mailed interviews. We have already discussed what are the pros and cons of using any method of data collection. So this was your second chapter, collection of data. What is your third chapter about? Organization of data. Now you have collected data and it is called your raw data. And the raw data organized, that is you classify it basically. So on what basis you classify? So the classification of data we discussed as the temporal classification or chronological classification based on years, then based on time actually, time or years, and then we move on to spatial classification based on place, quantitative classification and qualitative classification. So we discussed about the classification of data. How do you classify data and how do you take it to the next level? Organize because it is very difficult to draw out information from raw data or information it's very difficult. So what we need to do, we need to put it in a proper format for us to understand the data, right? There only we spoke about this, or in organization we came to know how do you put it as a frequency distribution table. நம்மளோட டேட்டாவை summarize பண்ணி ஒரு frequency distribution table நம்ம எப்படி கொடுக்கணும், tally mark system, how do you have to use, what is meant by frequency distribution, class limits, class width, what are the the diagrammatic presentation, and we had the geometric presentation, right? Geometric diagram, arithmetic line graph, sorry, arithmetic line graph unit. So in that we had, what did we have, children? In modes of presentation of data வந்து descriptive இருந்துச்சு, tabular இருந்துச்சு, diagrammatic இருந்துச்சு, right? Descriptive means what? It is in a text format. நம்ம ஒரு paragraph ஃபுல்லா படிச்சால் மட்டுமே அந்த டேட்டா நமக்கு புரியும். That was descriptive form of presentation. Tabular, we need to tabulate it. We discussed about the parts of a table. A table should start with the table number, it should have a title, then your captions, subs, everything we discussed. And when we entered into diagrammatic presentation of data, it was a huge classification again, because we had to talk about bar diagrams, we had to talk about frequency diagrams, and we had to talk about the arithmetic line graph. We discussed them in detail. In chapter number 5, we discussed about the measures of central tendency, right? What were the measures of central tendency? It is the numerical method of explaining the data. What was it, children? The numerical method of explaining your data was called as the measures of central tendency, and the most commonly used measures were arithmetic mean, median, and mode. Then in the previous chapter, we have discussed about the measures of dispersion. What was this? Measures of dispersion. After discussing measures of central tendency, we came to know that there might be an impact of any extreme values at the top or at the bottom to the arithmetic mean. Data ஏதோ ஒரு highest value இருந்தாலோ இல்ல very low value, lowest value இருந்தாலோ அது எதை influence பண்ணும்? நம்மளோட arithmetic mean influence பண்ணும் நம்ம படிச்சோம். So for knowing the differentiation, to know the dispersion, we moved on to discuss about the measures of dispersion, because they told us how different they are from each other, how these variables differ from each other, is what we discussed. And we had 4 methods to do that: range, mean deviation, quartile deviation, and standard deviation. Out of this, range, quartile deviation talks about spread of values. Mean deviation and standard deviation spoke about the level differed from the arithmetic mean, okay, or median. And out of this, the range, quartile deviation, and mean deviation are deleted topics. But still, we came to know the formula standard deviation. So any problems related to standard deviation should be worked out. And finally, we spoke about the coefficient of each. Coefficient of every thing, range. Okay, we found the relative measures of absolute measures. Relative measures of absolute measures of dispersion. What were the absolute measures of dispersion? Range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, and standard deviation. So இது எல்லாத்தோட coefficient நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்றோம்? Relative measures. Alright, children. What are we going to do in this session? Moving on to chapter 7, which is called correlation. Okay, what is this correlation? What do we mean by it? So co means together, relation, a relationship. So this chapter is going to let us understand the relationship that prevails among variables. So what is this correlation going to do? It is going to tell us about the relationship between or among variables. Between or among discuss the topic correlation. So correlation analysis is a means for examining relation. Analysis is what? It is a means for what? Analyzing, for examining relationships systematically, for examining relationships, that is relations between variables systematically. How can we say that? What kind? Let's have some examples of variables that will tell you, okay, that will tell you about the relation of each thing. So let's have, you need two variables here. You cannot have only one variable and dependent on the other thing. For example, the increase of sales in a product because of the increase in income. Regular ஒரு கஸ்டமர் உங்கள் கடையில் வந்து ஷாப் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்காங்க, ஒரு டிபார்ட்மெண்டல் ஸ்டோர்லையோ இல்லை உங்களோட ப்ராடக்டை ரெகுலராக அவங்க வாங்கிட்டே இருக்காங்க, அது நமக்கு தெரியும். ஓகே, ஸோ த பர்ச்சேஸ் பிஹேவியர் இஸ் தேர். Okay, and what happens? All of a sudden, they usually purchase for 100 rupees. Okay, and it was related to the number of members in their family. Vegetables restaurant. Okay, from a year being process, so for 100 rupees they are getting. For how many members? They had 3 members in their family. For that, they were shopping for 100 rupees. All of a sudden, when some guest comes to the home, number of members increases to 5. So now automatically their purchase also increases. So this relation is there, right? Between எப்படி ஒரு வீட்டில் இருக்கிற நம்பர் ஆஃப் மெம்பர்ஸ் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆனதுனால அவர் பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ண வேண்டிய அமௌண்ட் வந்து இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகுதுன்னு அர்த்தம். There is a relation between these two variables. What are your two variables? Number of members and the purchasing power or the amount to which he or she purchases. Alright, and what else? Like supply of tomato increases in your local monthly's price drops. So what happens when the demand for it's a very common thing for us. For in economics, one basic thing that we should know is demand increases of a product means what happens? You should understand like this. ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட்டோட டிமாண்ட் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகிட்டே இருக்கு, நிறைய பேர் கேட்டுட்டே இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா என்ன ஆகும்? ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக அதோட ப்ரைஸும் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும். ஏன்னா நிறைய பேருக்கு அது தேவையாக இருக்குங்கிறப்போ the sellers will increase the price. This is an opposite effect also. What happens? The price of a certain product is always increasing. Okay, a product price continuously increase ஆகிட்டு இருக்குன்னா it may affect the demand also when you have a competition. Okay, I am buying one particular vegetable. Okay, and that price is increased and the vegetable price increase ஆகிடுதுன்னா நான் அந்த ப்ராடக்ட் வாங்கினா மாட்டேன். So the demand falls. So this examination of the relation எப்படி price increase ஆனதால demand கம்மியாகுதா இல்லை demand increase ஆனதால நம்ம price increase பண்ணுறோமான்ற அந்த examination இல்லையா, அந்த analysis இல்லையா, அதுதான் நம்ம correlation சொல்லுவோம். Okay, it is the systematic analysis about what? Between the relationship between variables. Okay, that is all about correlation. So what are the questions that may be arise? For what questions does this correlation answer means? Is there any relationship between two variables out of blue? Okay, எதுவுமே நமக்கு திடீர்னு ஏன் இப்போ நம்ம வந்து சானிடைசர்ஸ் அதிகமாக சேல்ஸ் ஆகுது, இன்க்ரீஸ் in the sales of sanitizer, it's there separated when you zero sale of sanitizers has increased. It is there. Why? Is there any dependence? Is there any reason for it? Cause it. Okay? Is there any dependence? Another name for correlation itself is dependence. Sometimes it is causal and sometimes it is not causal. That is, it has a cause, sometimes it does not have a cause. Automatically it claims itself. Okay? So what happens? Sale of sanitizers increases. We think. So the spread of this disease has increased. Because of that only the sale of sanitizers is increased. It is not that they have produced more, so we are buying more. That is not reason. We should not take it in a wrong way. Okay? Or soaps costly sanitizer. No, what is the right relation? There might be many reasons. Sanitizer or sometimes when you are walking on the street, you see so many people on the street at the same time. Usually not in the street, but today the traffic is heavy. Okay, the crowd is more. Why? There might be many reasons. Some political reasons might be there, some political leaders coming that way, or it might be a special day, or you have come in a different time. There might be a number of alternatives, right? So you discuss the relation between these variables and finalize what is the right reason for it. Why do you have to know it? What is the need for understanding this relationship or this dependence? Because as economists, we need to know what is the cause, what influences what. So we can plan everything accordingly. That is why we need to know about this correlation. Alright children, so that is one question. What else? If the value of one variable changes, does the value of other also changes? So we are having a number of questions to be answered. Right? What was the first question that we had, children? Is there any relationship between two variables? So the first question was about the relationship between two variables. There is a relationship between difference. If the value of one variable changes, does the value of the other also change? And the second question is about the change. Spread increase sale increase spread change is it constant? Sometimes we have assumptions, no other things remaining constant. So is there any connection, that is if the value of one product changes, does it affect the another product also? Secondly, do both variables move in the same direction? Same direction? Same direction. That is one thing. How strong is the relationship? So what is the next thing you are talking about? You are talking about the direction of movement. Correlation lets you know about the direction of movement and how much it impacts, how much it affects the other thing. Next thing, whether the relationship is a strong one. Strong relationship, how? What is it means? For example, when you say that the sale of sweets has increased because of the climatic change. Okay, sometimes there will be some weird connections, like they're saying that the sale of cool drink has increased because of the climatic condition. So you decide the direction and you decide the strength of the relationship. Adu mattum da reason, the reason So what are the questions asked when you discuss about correlation? When you discuss about the relationship analysis systematically, you talk about the relationship between two variables. You talk about the change, like if one value changes, another variable's value also doesn't change. The direction, do they move in the same direction or they move in the opposite? That's called positive correlation and negative correlation. Okay, positive means moving in same direction, negative means opposite. about the types of relationship. What are the various types of relationship? We have correlation. Now what is correlation, children? It is actually knowing or studying about the relationship between two or more variables. Okay, how they are related? இன்னொரு வேரியபிளுக்கும் என்ன சம்பந்தம் இருக்கு, என்ன மாதிரி கனெக்ட் ஆயிருக்குன்னு பார்க்கிறது தான் correlation. The other term for correlation is dependence. Okay, there are various techniques for measuring correlation which we will be discussing in this chapter. So correlation analysis is a means for examining relations between variables. What does it do basically? This correlation analysis, it discusses, it examines a relation. இது பாசிட்டிவா நெகட்டிவா, இதோட வேல்யூ சேஞ்ச் ஆறப்ப இது எவ்வளோ சேஞ்ச் ஆகுது. So what are the questions? First, is there a relationship? Second thing, if the value changes for one variable plus the value of another variable also changes. The next thing is, let's say what else? Next thing was talking about the direction. These changes, do they move in the same direction or they move in the opposite direction? So as your income increases, your expenditure, your consumption also increases. என்கிட்ட 1000 rupees இருந்துச்சுன்னா நான் 800 rupeesக்கு பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ணுவேன். ஸோ அப்போ நான் என்ன பண்ணுவேன், என்கிட்ட 1500 இருந்துச்சுன்னா நான் 1200க்கு பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ணுவேன். ஸோ ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கலி when my income increases, my consumption also increases. Do they move in the same direction? Okay, at the same time, என்னோட loan amount, the amount I am going to repay to others, okay, என்னோட debt வந்து அதிகமாயிட்டே இருந்ததுன்னா என்னோட expenses நான் என்ன பண்ணுவேன், குறைச்சிக்குவேன். Obviously, right? As and when my debt gets increased, I try to control my expenses. So that has a negative impact. Right? So you need to know in which direction it moves, in the same direction or in the opposite direction. And finally, how strong is the relationship? Really, is that the only reason for you to curtail your expenses? For example, when you decide to create a change in your diet, நான் சாப்பிடுற ஏதோ ஒரு ஃபுட்ல நான் கொஞ்சம் சேஞ்ச் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணுறேன், குறைக்க ட்ரை பண்ணுறேன். For what reason? Because to become healthy or to control my weight or I want to get into a weight loss program. So எது right and how strong it is. இதுக்காக நான் கண்டிப்பாக இந்த விஷயத்தை பண்ணலாம். For weight loss, will I definitely have a change in my diet? Is the next question. Okay, we see now when there is a heavy rainfall, the goods will not reach us out. Like the farms will get damaged. அப்படிங்கிறப்போ என்ன ஆகும், ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக ப்ராடக்ட்ஸோட ப்ரைஸ் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும், ஏன்னா டிமாண்ட் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும், சப்ளை கரெக்டாக. So all this has to play a role in talking about the correlation between two different variables, two or more variables. Do you think there is a third variable? Yes, there might be a third variable which plays behind. Okay, which is in the backstage and it's playing a role in this correlation also. So that's what we are going to discuss now. What are we going to discuss? We are going to talk about the types of relationships that we might have in this. Okay, we are going to discuss about types of relationship, like cause and effect relationship, or everything is causal. The relation between movements in the quantity demanded and the price of a commodity is an integral part of the theory of demand. In the next part, when we are going to discuss about theory of demand, we definitely have this demand எப்படி ஒரு product price affect பண்ணுது, the price change of the product, how it affects the demand, அதோட relationship. It's a basic thing. Demand to price stays in your memory. Okay, keep it in your memory always. So how important it is means we are going to continue studying about it like to get the loan amount less. Yeah, so they both have variables. Variables, but still they have a connection, and that connection studying about this is actually called as your correlation. So what are the various examples I have stated for you? Like low productivity because of low rainfall. As I said, when you have high rainfall in any area, in your area, the farms and fields will get damaged. So we have seen in news that the farmers say that this much of damage has been done. That the relation, what happened, why was the damage? The products damage. In the farm because of the heavy rainfall, because of poor irrigation facilities. So where is the strong relationship we discuss? Then there is a cause and effect interpretation. So this is the cause. மழை அதிகமா வந்ததுனால தான் நம்மளோட goods வந்து transport பண்ண முடியல, இல்லன்னா lorry strike இருக்கு. We see, right, whenever we hear news that tomorrow there is a lorry strike or there is a transport problem, then what we do? So prices are going to increase. How transport is going to decide the price? Think. Transport to production to product to sambandhame illa. They are just going to bring it from there to here. But still, this transportation is going to play a huge role. This transportation is going to play a huge role in the demand and supply of the products. So two different variables having a relationship. This might be a cause and effect relationship. Cause and effect in the answer. The question with the answer. What is that? Because of what this has happened is that cause and effect. And some may be just coincidence. So we have the cause and effect relationships. Sometimes not coefficient, sorry, coincidence. Sometimes it's just a coincidence. For example, I had lot of money, so I am go back to the past. Okay, I'll go back to the past and think about it. I had lot of money and I planned to deposit in a amount வந்து நான் அதை என்ன பண்றேன், என்னோட பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட்ல நான் டெபாசிட் பண்றதுக்கு முடிவு பண்ணிட்டேன். So I deposit in the bank and next day in news I get to know about demonetization. உங்ககிட்ட இருக்கிற old notes நீங்க என்ன பண்ணணும், பேங்க்ல டெபாசிட் பண்ணி எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிக்கலாம்னு சொல்றாங்க. I did not know about this news. Okay, I did not know about this news, but I already did it. What is that? That's a coincidence, right? நடக்கிறப்போ there is no relationship between these two variables, but later on when something actually happens, that is a coincidence. Okay, there is no relationship. Demonetize ஆனதுனால தான் நான் அப்போ என்னோட அமௌண்ட் பேங்க்ல டெபாசிட் பண்ண கிடையாது. No, that was a different reason. This is a different reason. Simultaneous and knowledge. That's it. If you read the example given in your book, you will get better understanding. So about birds migration and birth rate, there is no cause and effect. There is no cause and effect for that. Alright, that's two different things. Alright, there was a power cut today and my mobile switched off. Two different things. Power cut and mobile switched off. என்னால இப்ப என்னோட phone charge பண்ண முடியல. It's a coincidence. It's not that current போனதால என் phone switch off ஆச்சுன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. Right? What is that kind of relationship called? That kind of relationship is called a coincidence. Okay? It's just a simple coincidence. And sometimes a third variable's impact on two variables. Okay? So what happened? A third variable's impact might be there. What might be the third variable's impact? So we come to know that nowadays people are not opting to go and buy bus. not opting to go by bus, and the usage of petrol or the consumption of petrol has increased. Rendu vishayam namakku islam. One is they are avoiding public transport. Okay, public transport has become less, and one more thing is that petrol consumption has increased. How do you think this two is related? இது நம்ம எப்படி கனெக்ட் பண்ண முடியும்? பெட்ரோல் நிறைய வாங்குறதுனால நம்ம பஸ்ல போகலன்னு இருக்குதா, இல்ல பஸ்ல போகாததுனால பெட்ரோல் வாங்குறாங்கன்னு இருக்குதா? We can't understand. So what do? You have a third variable, which is your pandemic situation. So because of the pandemic situation, people get scared of the spread. Okay, easy spread is becoming contagious. It's easily spread and many people are getting affected. Adnala they get scared to use the public transport. They are wisely avoiding the public transport. Okay, until that they have very essential use. Petrol consumption still they have to go for work, or still they have to go for other work. So public transport use பண்ணாம அவங்களோட vehicles use பண்றதுனால the petrol consumption has increased. ஏன்னா அவங்களோட vehicles நமக்கு தனியா போலாம், தனியா வரலாம். Even in autos you are not allowed. Auto ஓட்டலாம் இருக்குற மாதிரி there were lots of rules that we need to follow. So what was the third variable that decided everything? The pandemic situation, the spread. Okay, so relationships we have, you might have a cause and effect relationship, a coincidental relationship, and finally a third variable's impact may affect it. Okay, these are the various things we have about the types of relationship. So about the correlation, this third variable, they have given you an example about ice creams and drowning. I hope you can read it and understand it. I have not given examples from your book. Extra examples. Trying to find some examples for all these three types of relationship. What is that? Cause and effect. ஒரு வேரியபிள் எதுவோ இருக்கிறதுனால தான் இன்னொரு எஃபெக்ட் அதுக்கு கிடைக்குது. ஸோ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் is what we are going to discuss under this topic of what does correlation measure. Direction and so it studies the direction and intensity. How strong is the connection? How strong measures, that is, it will let you measure the relationship. இந்த மாதிரி கனெக்ட் ஆயிருக்கு மட்டும்தான் நம்ம சொல்லுவே தவிர எதனால அந்த ரிசல்ட் நமக்கு கிடைக்குது காசை பற்றி நம்ம யோசிக்க மாட்டோம். We measure the correlation, how there is a dependence or what is the dependence there is a question. It's not what led to it. அது எதனால நடந்துச்சுன்னு study பண்ண மாட்டோம். Even though we know it, we don't measure the causation, we measure the covariation. So the presence of correlation between two variables x and y simply means that when the value of one variable correlation or negative correlation, and we are going to just for example increase positive correlation. Negative correlation means it happens in the opposite direction. It happens in the opposite direction. That is, when x increases, y decreases. When x decreases, y increases. Okay, usually when price of a product increases, the demand decreases. When the price of the product falls, the demand increases. We have to talk about the demand and supply of money, the demand and supply of foreign exchange rate. So everything would apply in these two correlations. What are those? Positive correlation and negative correlation. Positive and when the changes happen in the same direction, that's called positive correlation. When the changes happen in the opposite direction, then it is called as a negative correlation. Right, children? So this is all about the types of correlation. What are the things we have discussed today? We spoke about what is meant by correlation, and then we moved on to discuss the types of relationship, and we moved on to discuss what does correlation actually measure, and we conclude the topic talking about the types of correlation. It's very simple, it's all in theory, so you just can quickly go through all these things, and I hope you are working out the problems in chapter 6. If at all you have any doubts, yes of course, feel free to reach me out and get your doubts clarified. Thank you, and may you all have a wonderful day.